Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Suzanne Mazars. I am the music director here, and I have your announcements for the coming week. Spirit choir rehearsals. We have our spirit choir sharing music with us this morning, our Monday nights from 7 to 9. If you're interested in singing with the choir, please talk to me after service. In our gallery, including these three photos behind and lining the two galleries up on the second floor, is Peter Marmerick's show, Images from the Lava Lands. Thanks, Peter. Take some time and can check out some of the work upstairs. We'll get the lights on after service so you can see them a little better. After the service today, the Social and Environmental Action Committee, our C Committee, meets from 12 to 1:30, I believe. You can speak to Nancy or Laura, our co-chairs, or just come to the meeting if you're interested in finding out more about how to get involved in actions. Concerts happening on Sunday. This isn't really a concert, but on Sunday the 19th, 2 weeks from today, following the service from 12:30 to 2, our guest musicians, which are musicians from the Black, Jewish, and Muslim diaspora, will be sharing with us the intersections of those musical traditions in a workshop, a free workshop that's open to all. So they'll be doing music at our service and then doing a presentation and a song share following the service here in the space. And on Saturday, February 25th at 7:30, Rev. Lynn Harrison is having not a CD release. Do we still do CD releases? I don't know. A music release concert, recording release concert, but over in the large sanctuary, in EEU's sanctuary on the other side. There will be an information meeting about our investments on Zoom only. That's in our regular Sunday service Zoom space. On the 19th, starting at 4 p.m. So if you're curious about what's going on with the investments or have questions, you can join on Zoom. Help needed in the congregation. Are you wondering how you can share your skills and time to help neighborhood grow? Speak to anyone on our board to hear about opportunities we have, such as the Caring Committee, LL, membership, communications, tech, history, greeting, counting, coffee, fundraising. And could the members of the board please stand so if people do want to talk to you, they know who you are to talk to. Thank you, friends. Looks like the board is well represented in the choir today. Dance for all ages is happening, a little dance party happening here in our sanctuary on Saturday, February 18th from 4 to 6 p.m. Bring your own potluck snacks. You can send requests for songs to DJ Zoriah, who will be DJing the party, and all are welcome of all ages and all movement abilities. Some security issues with our building. Over the past few weeks, there have been a few instances of security issues. This is a reminder for us all. We have to keep our space locked and the outside doors locked to ensure safety and access. We've hired someone to sit at the door to welcome you when you arrive and to be at the door for latecomers. But if you're a member here, you can get your own code to come in. That will be your own private code. You just need to contact Hala and she'll provide you with one. Hala is our office administrator and she can be contacted at office@nuuc.ca. This week's question to the community. What would be some important elements of your ideal alternative community? Ponder that. We'll have a chance, we'll remind you of the question later in the service. And next Sunday, our theme will be Communities of Faith and the Black Freedom Struggle with special guest speaker Kofi Hope. Our service weaver will be Peter Marmerick, and music will be provided by the Spirit Band, and I see Lauren catching my eye. She would like to share an announcement.
You're so astute. I'm like waving this. All right. So good morning. I'm here today for many reasons, because it's UniCamp Sunday, but also because I'm here to let you know that after a 2-year hiatus, we are bringing back the sharing commitment. Yay! After last week's annual budget meeting, many people noticed that there were some amounts that were in the red in the spreadsheets. And COVID has hit absolutely everyone in some way or another. COVID has shut down many congregations in many faith groups for the past 2 years permanently, but we have actually survived it, which I think is just awesome. We may be smaller, but we're still here, and we'd like to remain here. So, we have money in the bank, but if we don't contribute through sharing of our own wealth, the congregation is only going to last for a few years. So, as a member for 15 years, I have meditated, danced, sang, healed, broken bread, shown art, been to concerts, laughed, been to weddings and funerals, had diverse and interesting conversations where agreement is not as important as being heard and acknowledging others, and pondering the possibility of possibly being wrong and changing my mind. I don't know if you've been there, but I've been there a few times. Dave and I raised our kids here, learned how to be mindful and strengthen our inner resolve here, made new connections with like-minded people, all of you, and improved our friendships and our marriage. All of these aspects of my life, they're priceless. And what is the price tag of my personal growth and soul journey? And what's yours? What's the price tag to that? We arrived here with 2 young children who were asking big questions like, what is morality and empathy and kindness? And is Luke Skywalker good? And is Darth Vader bad? And what does that mean? We learned about mindful listening and community. And this community helped raise our children, and I thank you for that. This community also helped raise me to my awareness of my own morality and my own empathy, and I'm constantly growing, thanks to you. If each of us could give $1,000 a year, that would be $75,000. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is absolutely not enough to cover the costs. But we think that it's actually a realistic goal, as there are 75 members right now. With 75 members each paying $1,000 a year, that's actually only $83 a month, which is only $21 a week, which is like, less lattes, right? For some, that is a drop in the bucket. And of course not for everyone. Some people make a lot of money and some people have a very limited fixed income. And so we want to appreciate the fact that sometimes people actually donate their time and their energy, and they can't donate a lot of money. And that is also really important. All of it counts. But some of us could probably afford more than $20 a week or $1,000 a year. So think about what you can give and try for more than $1,000, if possible. And it doesn't have to be all at once. It can be weekly. No matter how small the amount is, put it in an envelope, though, because if you do and you put your name on it, it can then become a tax receipt later on. And you can save that tax receipt for up to 7 years. So if you didn't make a lot of money 1 year, you wouldn't use it. In a few years, you might. So it is in a great income year, you can help offset with your donations. It's smart giving and smart sharing. I get back so much from neighborhood, and a tax receipt is only one of those many gifts. And this thermometer, right, has what we want to achieve. Our goal is $75,000, but I'm really hoping that we can just blow the top off of this baby and make it $100,000. But we can go higher, and I hope that we can. Please consider what you can share with neighborhood comfortably, and then try to stretch it just a little bit more. The forms that we have will be in the email blast on Monday, and there are some in the cappuccino room right by the tea. So tea drinkers, you're not obliged to fill out the form, but that's just where they're located. And the sharing commitment box is there as well. You can do this online, you can do this in person, that's totally up to you. But you're gonna hear maybe 3 other short stories from other people in this next few weeks. And what we're hoping for is to have a really fun event with music and food and dancing and going to celebrate how much fun we can have here. So thank you so much for your time and your consideration in that.
Thank you, Lauren. That was awesome. We welcome everyone here to our Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. We welcome everyone to our spiritual community. My name is Dave Renzetti, and I'll be your service weaver today. This service is being recorded for the public on. It will be posted on YouTube, and it's also available at any time on our website as well. Now, we have nowhere else to go and nothing else to do. Let us bring our hearts and minds and spirits together as one, as we give greeting and gratitude for being with each other here today. This is our threshold moment. Let us enter sacred space together. Our service begins now. I would like to invite Natalie up to light our chalice. As we light our chalice, those of you who are on Zoom are encouraged to light your own personal chalice or candle, or hold your hands in the shape of a chalice. But either way, join our choir as we sing. Our music today will be honoring the fact that it is Black History Month, and I ask Suzanne to introduce our prelude.
Yeah, so all the music you're hearing today and all the music the band will be playing next week are by Black artists, of both from North America and from Africa. So we're starting today with a piece from the Black Church, a song of resilience. The choir really enjoys singing this. The storm is passing over. May the storm be passing over. Courage, my soul, and let me journey on. Though the night is dark, and I am far from home. Praise be to God, the morning light appears. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Thunder rolling and billows shake the ground. See the lightning flashing and dark clouds all around. Jesus walked the seas and calmed the angry waves. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. Courage, my soul.
Good morning and welcome. I start by acknowledging that the Wendat, the Anishinaabe Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Mississauga of the New Credit First Nations lived here before me and are living here now, and together with the Métis and the Inuit. I offer my gratitude to our First Nations for their care for and teachings about our earth and our relations to it. I will work to honor these teachings. Our services are the result of many efforts. Our guest speaker today is Yvette Salinas, Executive Director of UniCamp of Ontario. Our music director is Suzanne Mazars. Zoriah Getchell is our facilitator of our Sunday program for children. Reese Rogers will be working our soundboard today. Gordon Thorne's helping him out, and Mike Kozlowski is being our Zoom host. If you are visiting us for the first time, a special welcome to you. We are encouraged you to come to several of our services because they can really differ week to week depending on the themes. Our mission here at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. Our theme for February is resilience, learning to bend and not break. Our theme for today is UniCamp Sunday, a portrait of resilience. Now I would ask you to take a moment and greet your neighbors around you. After you've done that, you can turn to the camera in the back of our sanctuary and wave to the Zoomers.
Good morning, Dee Dee.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Bill and Brenda.
Good morning.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
Leslie. Hey, Bill. Hi.
Hi, Doug. Nice to
Hello,
see you.
Doug.
Sending you
Hi,
love.
Dee Dee.
Good morning.
We've had a
good.
terrible storm here, but it's passed over.
Same here, honey. Same here.
We're warming up too. We had
Hello,
mine.
John.
Hi, Gordon. Thanks for doing this. Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
Leslie.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. And there's a few. There we go.
Hey, Doug. Good to see you, Doug.
Great to see all
Hello,
of you.
Michelle.
Take care, everyone. Love you all.
For my reading today, I've chosen this from the editorial board of Community Resilience magazine. This was from their inaugural issue. Community resilience is the ability of a group of people to absorb disturbance and still retain basic function and structure. Building resilience means intentionally guiding the community's process of adaptation in an attempt to preserve some qualities and allow others to fade away, all while retaining the essence or identity of the group. Now I invite you to join me in reading our opening words that will appear on the screens. Let us
Cast.
cast a circle of a cherished space here. And now for our opening song.
Yes. So in our service today, the congregation is going to become a part of the choir. So in our first song, Be the Light by Leah Morris, American UU composer, we are going to be the altos, along with our 3 altos in the back there. And then we'll layer in some counterparts and some harmony and make one grand, glorious choir together. That is the vision. May it be so. So I'll teach you a phrase. Why don't we rise in energy as you feel that in your own bodies? I'll sing a phrase, you sing it back to me. There is always a light. There is always a light. If we are ready to feel it, if we are ready to feel it, there is always a light. There is always a light. If we are ready to be it, if we are ready to be it, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to climb this hill, to climb this hill. Together we will, together we will. Let's try the whole thing. Choir, if we can all stay on the alto part, get the congregation going. 3, 4. There is always a light. If we are ready to feel it, there is always a light. If we are ready to be it, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. There is always a light. If we are ready to feel it, there is always a light. If we are ready to be it, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. Altos and congregation, there is always a light. If we are ready to feel it, there is always a light. If we are ready to be it, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. There is always a light.
There is always light.
When we are ready to feel
There
it,
is always
there is always a light.
There is always light.
When we are ready to be it, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to climb this hill, together we will. There is always a light. There is always light. We are ready to feel it. There is always a light.
There is always light.
If we are ready to be it, to feel the light, to be the light, to raise our hearts in the dark of night, to climb this hill,
That was awesome. And Zoriah will now, I invite the young and young at heart up, and Zoriah has something to share with you guys.
Good morning, everybody. So it's time for our Time for All Ages today. So all the young and young at heart, as Dave said, can come up to the carpet for another little bit of a song. Before we start for our Time for All Ages, I wanted to thank Yvette Salinas for coming to talk to us today about resilience and about UniCamp. And because UniCamp is part of what we're talking about today, for our Time for All Ages, we're going to be doing the UniCamp's 8 Principles song, which has been a while since we've done this song. Last time we did it, it was the UniCamp 7 Principles song. So we're just going to take a quick minute to learn it again, just so that we know we have all the lyrics. It goes to a very simple and hopefully familiar tune. So it starts with, 1, each person is important. 1, each person is important. 2, be kind in all you do. 2, be kind in all you do. 3, we help each other learn. 3, we help each other learn. 4, and search for what is true. 4, and search for what is true. 5, all people have a say. 5, all people have a say. 6, work for a peaceful world. 6, work for a peaceful world. 7, the web of life's the way. 7, the web of life's the way. And we fight systemic racism. And we fight systemic racism. Each person is important. 2, be kind in all you do. 3, we help each other learn. 4, and search for what is true. 5, all people have a say. 6, work for a peaceful world. 7, the web of life's the way. And we fight systemic racism. 1, each person is important. 2, be kind in all you do. 3, we help each other learn. 4, and search for what is true. 5, all people have a say. 6, work for a peaceful world. 7, the web of life's the way. And we fight systemic racism. Well, thank you all for joining me in that song. And now, my young friends, we can go into the back room for our program.
Children go in spirit. Children go in spirit. Grow in spirit, children. Grow in spirit, children. Grow in spirit, grow in spirit, grow in spirit, children.
For those of you who don't know, UniCamp of Ontario is a collective alternative summertime community that is owned by all the Unitarian congregations in Ontario. It's a camp, conference center, provides children's programming, kids programming, a huge amount of diverse programming. Our guest speaker today is Yvette Salinas, and she's entering her 5th year as executive director of this organization. And given COVID and everything else that's been going on, if there is someone who knows about community resilience, it's Yvette.
Good morning. Wow, y'all, like, you're not kidding with your energy with the music. Like, that was amazing. That made my heart very happy. So, can you hear me? You're good? So, okay, UniCamp. Hard to believe it, but UniCamp is about to be 54 years old. I'd like to delve into the history of UniCamp a little bit with you. Long ago, we're talking hundreds of millions of years ago, the land where UniCamp is situated was under tropical waters. About 415 million years ago, these waters dried up and the landscape emerged. By 135 million years ago, the continent was moving northward, and what was once a coral reef became blocks of gray stone that was battered by rain and wind. Mud and water infiltrated the rock, shaping the land into the high points and crevices we know today. For a while, the land was shared territory between the Niashiniming, Sogin, and Beausoleil First Nations. A forest thrived. In the mid-1800s, newly emigrated Europeans had removed nearly all the trees through logging and burning for farming. Here's where our records get very specific. The 50-acre property in an area known as Honeywood Springs was sold to David E. Hartman in 1955 for $2,000. He bought it from the estate of Robert H. Jameson, who bought it from Ida Elizabeth Mortimer in 1923, who bought it from Samuel Grogans in 1889, who bought it in 1869, who bought it from John Helliwell in 1864, who bought that from Lambert R. Bolton in 1862, who bought it from Charles Bolton in 1852, who bought that from Thomas Buttery in 1849, who bought it from Rebecca McQuinn, who had received the title from the Crown on September 4th, 1828. Whew, okay. In 1968, a Toronto school teacher named Tom Brown became inspired about creating a Canadian camp where children would be empowered with their Unitarian values. Remember David Hartman? He suggested using his property. And so, on February 10th, 1969, the Ontario government issued a charter to incorporate UniCamp, to organize, operate, and maintain camps with related services for Unitarian religious training of children. UniCamp was born. In the early years of UniCamp as an overnight camp, the concept was freedom of thought, easy friendships, and individual choices. The children could safely discover their interests. Each morning, there was a town hall meeting run by the children themselves, according to Robert's Rules of Order. All matters of interest were voted upon. The children learned to conduct meetings and make decisions, but the freedom enjoyed at camp was not always appreciated by the parents once they went home. So there were bumps, even in the early days. We adjusted by allowing the children the freedom to not take part in activities if they wish. As UniCamp grew, it came to be known as a cooperative community, where everyone does share in making it work. There were numerous times in history when leaders needed to give money from their own pockets to ensure the organization wouldn't go bankrupt. A twister hit, we branded together with other groups to face down a quarry which would impact all of Honeywood Springs. Not to mention countless blackouts, clogged toilets, dripping ceilings, homesick campers, and more. Through it all, UniCamp remains proudly UU, with the Unitarian Universalist principles posted on wooden signs throughout the camp. Visitors understand that UU promotes diversity, democracy, and our role in the natural ecology. Ours is a facility for retreat and recreation for UUs and for others who adhere to similar values, no matter what national origin, race, gender, age, sexual orientation, political or economic background. But that didn't just happen. A combination of hiring skilled and volunteer labor has shaped UniCamp into the thriving seasonal campground on a gorgeous property it is today. UniCamp is supported by people who believe in the open fellowship of human seekers, learners, and strivers, imperfect but growing people who accept the difficult but wonderful truth of human existence, that to live truly is to grow unceasingly in heart and in sympathy. UniCamp is a monument to those that have given their care and attention to the space and the organization itself. These UniCampers are my heroes, our heroes. They are too numerous to mention, and most work in multiple facets of camp. So I'm grateful to acknowledge UniCamp's overwhelming debt for their contributions. It is because of them that UniCamp has existed for generations of you youth to enjoy. They are what makes UniCamp resilient. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Yvette. Thank you. This is a special time in our service when we invite you to share a joy or concern in your life. We will first hear from the people physically present, and then Mike will cue the people on Zoom who would like to speak. I ask that you please respect the sacredness of this ritual and refrain from making announcements or telling stories or highlighting events, telling us what you've done this week. Tell us an emotion and the wisdom you have found in it. This is a cherished time that brings our community together. We start by expressing our gratitude. We start by expressing our gratitude for all the volunteers, seen and unseen, who hold this place together. I light the second candle to honor an influential Unitarian, the American science fiction writer Ray Bradbury. I recently reread Fahrenheit 451, and I realized that the antagonist, the enemy in this novel, was not some overreaching, censoring government. The enemy is us. And to be more specific, it is that part of us which is intolerant, intolerance of others, and intolerance of ideas that we do not agree with. The tendency in us, the enemy is also the tendency in us to be a passive resistance of mass culture, rather than an active participant in forming the society we want to see.
All one heart, all one heart, beat as one together.
I'd like to share an earth-based meditation that's adapted from process work, the work of Arnie and Amy Mindell. You can follow my prompts, or you can change them as it suits you, or you can use this time for your own process. But if you will, I invite you to go in your imagination to a place on earth. It might be one that you've been to, or it might be one that you conjure up. And if a few different places come to you and you're not sure which to go with, you can take the very first one that came to you. And if you've got a place in mind, I invite you to imagine being there and take some time to feel that place with all of your senses. You can slow down and breathe here. You can notice if you feel your connection to ground, feel into that. And perhaps you can smell the air in this place. Maybe you can become aware of the sun, even if it's hidden. Perhaps you can feel it in the temperature of the air or the quality of the light. And you can notice the water element in this place, whatever form it takes. You can use your breath to amplify and sense the atmosphere of this earth spot. And if you like, maybe you can let this earth spot move you, move your body. It might be subtle. Maybe it's a shift in your posture. Maybe it's a gesture or a micro movement or even a larger movement. Just see how it wants to move you. And you can let this earth spot give you a tip for your life, something that provides support or guidance. It could take any form, a feeling, a sensation, an image, maybe words, whatever comes to you. See what tip this earth spot wants to give you. And if you got a tip, and it's fine if you didn't, but if you did, you can take a moment to breathe and feel the truth and the power in it. And whenever you're ready, I invite you to bring your awareness back into this room, or the room that you're in.
Om Namah, Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Om Namah Last time. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya,
That was powerful again. Now my heart is at peace. We're good? All right. I was told recently that the more care and attention you put into something, the more you grow to love it. UniCamp is more than 50 years old. A half decade's worth of volunteers and staff and board members and campers of all ages have been caring for UniCamp. Its property, programming, wildlife, children, kitchen, and more. All this care and attention means UniCamp is simply simmering with the fierce love. Come to camp and you'll feel it. Ask a UniCamper and they've felt it. And what about me? Like Dave said, this will be my 5th summer as UC's executive director. 5th. It actually feels a little longer, thanks to COVID summers 1, 2, 3. But 5 is pretty impressive, I think. It's nice to feel like I've really gotten into the groove of things. Pre-season, spring shoulder season, staff training, kids camp, family camp, fall shoulder season, post-season, off-season, breathe. And start again. Though this time of year is still technically the off-season, it's not quite at all. Right, Lauren? It's actually a really busy and exciting time of year. The programming calendar is getting set. The staff team is rebuilding itself. Reservations and registrations have just opened up, and we're planning and prepping for another fun and frantic season. The love for UniCamp, compounded over 54 years, is something I can tap into. Even with it's the middle of winter and I'm sitting in front of my computer feeling cold and isolated. I had this whole sermon written about how I wasn't feeling nervous about the upcoming summer. And then this past week hit. And as I got teary-eyed trying to concentrate on editing this sermon while juggling 3 conversations with staff members and a significant number of deadlines, I thought, oh. And it helped to remember that when the going got tough, I'd feel challenged and worried and have difficulty sleeping and eating and more. But I could also rely on my incredible staff to connect the dots necessary to meet our deadlines. I like this guy. Loved ones were the sounding board I needed to be able to vent before getting back to the tasks at hand. And I could tap into that UniCamp love and care that I had written about earlier. When I think back on UniCamp's challenging history and my own experiences at camp, I know the hiccups that can happen at any given moment. And more importantly, I have the wisdom to know these hiccups, big and small, can be overcome. UniCamp's thriving love sustains me so that I don't feel quite so worried, even though I could really be. Even when there's another hiccup to navigate, a complaint to respond to, those deadlines looming. But what does that have to do with you? Well, things have been really hard, haven't they? Like financially, but also emotionally. We're all feeling a little done, but don't really have the privilege to take a long enough break, a deep enough breath. Perhaps this is why it feels like I've been hearing a lot about resilience lately. How do we keep going when we're feeling exhausted? And the more I think about it, the more I'm realizing that the time for expecting ourselves to be resilient is over, at least on an individual basis. We've been facing too many issues lately to be able to withstand another hiccup all on our own. Rather, I'm coming to learn that, as Rev. Teresa Soto famously said, all of us need all of us to make it. That's why communities such as UniCamp are so important. As are communities like this congregation, you can tap into the love that's been sustaining your community right here, right now. Your children are learning about their own capabilities and learning that they can depend on each other and on you all to support them when they need to be resilient. We can all be heroes for each other, and our resilience can be a testament to what that care and attention has meant to our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvette. Now it's time for our offertory. Let us not forget that this congregation is a living entity, and like all living things, it requires nurture and sustenance and a bit of cash. If you contribute by pre-authorized checks and withdrawals, we thank you very much. As we contribute to the life of this community, we affirm our lives within it. Please consider making e-transfer or writing a check. Consider a reoccurring gift. A link in your chat window will now show up, and all you need to do is click on it. There's also baskets will come around with envelopes that you can write your information on. And we'll now take a little pause, and Suzanne will play.
Well, I'll play with all of you. We're going to become the choir again. Congregation, you are going to be the tenor section in this song. This is Honor the Dark, also by Leah Morris. In the first half of our service, we sang about being the light, but we also want to honor the dark, the time of rest, the time of restoration. You know, often the dark is considered to be something scary, the unknown, the dangerous. But the dark is also a place of healing. The dark is also this color of skin of our neighbors and of our friends, and something to celebrate just as much as we celebrate the light. So, could we rise in energy even as the baskets are going around? I'll teach it to you as the baskets are going around. We'll collect the baskets and then we'll get a little thing going with the choir. So, honor the dark as you do the light. And now your turn. Honor the dark as you do the light. Good. There's no percussion right now, thank you. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark. I choose to honor the dark. Uncertainty and change. Uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. Let's try to get it going a little bit. Just get it comfortable. 3, 4. Honor the dark as you do the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark. Uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. I think we've got it. Could we bring in our collection, and then we'll get a little bit of a circle song happening here.
If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found joy and fellowship here, if you have found kindred spirits here, please let this donation be a symbol of our collective love for this community.
Honor the dark as you do the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark. Uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. Tenors and congregation. Honor the dark as you do the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark. Uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. Honor the dark as you do the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark. Uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. Honor the darkness as you do the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark. Uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. As the butterflies that spring from us into the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. As the butterfly slips free from her dark cocoon, as the evening sky reveals the light of the moon. Sometimes fear surrounds us, sometimes there will be pain. But let the darkness heal you until only love remains. Honor the dark as you do the light. Receive the gifts that come to us by day and by night. I choose to honor the dark, uncertainty and change. Deliver us from fear until only love remains. Yes, indeed.
That was awesome. I invite Natalie up to extinguish our chalice. Today I'll leave you, oh, sorry. We have a chalice, we have a song.
Although our chalice has been darkened, we hold the fire within our own hearts.
Today I leave you with these oft quoted for a very good reason words by Leonard Cohen. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. We end our services traditionally around here by holding hands and saying the word namaste, which roughly translates as, I see the soul within you. So, neighborhood congregation, I say to you all, namaste. Namaste. Our service is now over, but our service to each other never ends. Go in peace.